What's going on, y'all? I want to give you my review of the Audified VocalMint Saturator. So this is a plugin that's meant to shape and saturate your vocal using one easy to control knob. So when I first opened up this plugin and started to play around with it, if you click this bottom panel, it'll open up the control panel, and I realized that it is resizable, which is really nice because I get tired of squinting at plugins. But even at its smallest value, it's just a one knob control. So even though it's that tiny, you can still easily function this plugin. Making it back bigger in the middle, you've got just, notifications, and this wrench is what's going to give you the most options here for it. You got your manual, check for updates, about, set calibration. So by default, this is set to -9 dBFS, and for my use, I recommend just leaving it there. But you can bring this all the way down to -24, and if you want to, you can select save as default. If say I want to set this to -12, I can save that as a default, and next time I open it up, it'll be at -12 or whatever you choose to save it at. But I recommend just leaving it as at -9. I think that works fine. So Audified markets this as being great for podcasters, and since I have a podcast, a shameless plug, the Faders Up podcast is a pro audio podcast that I do with 3 other Nashville professionals. I'm going to try this plugin out on my podcast. This is episode 7. This is the intro of episode 7. It's me introducing the podcast, and then I have Chaos. She's doing the announcements part. And so you'll hear this plugin on a female vocal and my vocal. So I'm going to, we'll start with mine first. We'll play it, and I'll bring the saturator in and out, and we'll see what it can do. Okay, we'll start with it out. And this is a podcast about pro audio and beyond. You can find us on Instagram at Faders Up Podcast. All the hosts and guests that appear on the show, social media will be in the show notes. If you want to reach us, you can at fadersuppodcast@yahoo.com. And this episode, we're going to talk about one-time payments versus subscription services. But first, we're going to get into some announcements. Okay, so what I'm hearing is without it, my voice sounds kind of thin, and I feel like it's cleaning up a little bit of the low mids, and it's also making it just a little brighter as well. But I can hear the saturation bringing my voice forward in this. Let's listen to what it sounds like on her.
Oh, so yeah, we have a Facebook group. I'm excited about that because we know a lot of listeners are still on Facebook. Facebook is not only for old people, it's for all of us. So make sure y'all check us out on Facebook because we can just have more of a dialogue there, share updates about the show, what's going on, and just stay more in touch. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to our Facebook page. That's Faders Up Podcast.
Okay, so it's more apparent on her voice to me. And again, it's filling out that low end, and the saturation is also pulling the vocal forward. I feel like it's almost a little nasally, almost something in the upper high mids I'm not liking without it. But I am getting a pleasing sound with this engaged. Let's go back to me, and let's turn this all the way up and see what we get, because Audified says that this is it's meant to sound good even if you crank it. So let's see what that sounds like. And this is a podcast about pro audio and beyond. You can find us on Instagram at Faders Up Podcast. All the hosts and guests that appear on the show, social media will be in the show notes. If you want to reach us, you can at fadersuppodcast@yahoo.com. Okay, so I'm not liking that. It's starting to really sound processed. Let's try it on her.
Oh, so yeah, we have a Facebook group. I'm excited about that because we know a lot of listeners are still on Facebook. Facebook is not only for old people, it's for all of us. So make sure y'all check us out on Facebook because we can just have more of a dialogue there, share updates about the show, what's going on, and just stay more in touch. So
And the same with her. It's starting to sound really processed, and I'm starting to hear some distortion on it as well. So even just the default where it opens up at is, I think, somewhere around here. I mean, I think that's a great starting point. They picked a really good default setting for this. So I'm going to have the link to my podcast in the description if anybody wants to check it out. So let me get into what I don't like about the VocalMint Saturator, and that is the CPU usage. So looking at the CPU usage here, you see 48, 49. That's really high in my opinion, and I thought something was wrong. I emailed support, and they said that, yeah, that's right. So I don't know if there'd be a deal breaker for some, but this just, it uses a lot of CPU. So this isn't something that you're going to put on all of your tracks. You're probably better off just having one instance and busing everything to it. But it's certainly not something that you're going to want to use a lot of instances of. And I've got a 2011, a mid 2011 iMac with, I believe, 16 gigs of RAM, maybe 24. But that's the one thing that I don't like about this is just the CPU usage. And just going to compare it to some other saturation plugins that I have. This is the X Saturator. It's at 0. Soft tube saturation knob. It's at 1. Noveltech character. It's at 1. And Denise Audio Bad Tape. It's at 5. So all of these other saturation plugins are just significantly lower in CPU usage than the VocalMint Saturator. I hope that they can find a way to really bring down that CPU usage, because that's the only knock that I have against this at this time. Other than that, I really like the sound that I'm getting with it, especially on spoken word broadcast radio type. I feel that it's really great for that. I've also used it on singing vocals if you was to use it like in a mix. And actually, speaking of that, let's go ahead and flip over to that session and take a quick look at that. Okay, I've got the VocalMint Saturator up in another session here, and you can see this mix. I've got a lot of PreSonus fat channels on all these tracks, but again, the CPU usage of the VocalMint Saturator is just not something I'll be able to use a lot of if I'm doing if I've got a mix going on, and that's just because it's using so much CPU. But I've got the VocalMint Saturator on the hook here, and it's this green track here, and I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to bring it in and out, and we'll see what I'll play it with the track, and then I'll play it soloed.
'Cause I'm stuck in love, can't get out this love. I don't want to, but I need to. But you got me stuck. Oh, I'm stuck in love, can't get out this love. I don't want to, but I need to. But you got me stuck.
All right, let's solo it now. I feel like I'm hearing just a little bit of high end being added there. I feel like I can hear it taking it from a kind of a flat frequency, even frequency response to boosting a little bit of high end. But let's listen to it soloed.
'Cause I'm stuck in love, can't get out.
Naturally, let's kill that delay so we can focus on just the vocal. Okay.
'Cause I'm stuck in love, can't get out this love. I don't want to, but I need to. But you got me stuck. Oh, I'm stuck in love, can't get out this love. I don't want to, but I need to. But you got me stuck.
Okay, so for this, I actually prefer it without the VocalMint Saturator. It is adding some high end that I'm hearing. This was recorded with the Chameleon Lab 7603 and Roswell Delphos 2 mic, which is a real clean, even response. So for this, I prefer just the even response that we're getting versus it being processed through the VocalMint Saturator. So, my overall thoughts, I think this is great for podcasters, broadcast, radio, spoken word type work that you're doing. I think this is great for that. It's also great for amateurs. It's something that you can use to get a good sound that you really don't have to know a lot about engineering, which kind of gears it back towards podcasters to me. I know a lot of podcasters may edit their podcast and record it, but they still don't know the full engineering side of it. So this is very easy to use. The introductory price on this right now is $29, which I think is really good for what it is and what it can do. Again, just my only knock is I would hope that Audified can get the CPU usage down on it. All right, so that's my review of the VocalMint Saturator from Audified. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.